So let's rank all the films I watched for the first time for the month of September 2025.
Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews.
So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome again to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. I'm the Big D here, and I am about to give you my ranking of September 2025 first time watches. Now, I did make one slight error. I had learned that I have seen Conan the Destroyer from 1984, so I took it off and, well, I put another movie up in its place. So I've still watched an overall total of 14 big films. But I gotta tell you, this was just wow. But I gotta tell you, they're just, yeah, so you better be on your toes when I do this. A few of these I'm gonna try and go real fast and what have you, because I never did reviews on these films because I was just focusing on sci-fi films. And a few of these films I did go see, but didn't do an out the reaction or spoiler-free review because I had other things in the way. So on your toes, because here's the ranking. Sit back, relax, and here we go. Coming in at number 14 is Smurfs. Oh boy, I really regret seeing this film. This film sucks big time. I mean, I was only impressed with just a tiny bit of it, but not a whole lot. I still can't believe why the hell they would even put a certain Beyond credit big time as Smurfette. Come on! I'll talk more about this when I review this film next month. I will do a spoiler free review of it just so I can get this flick out of the way. This film is not so great. I'd rather see the Sony films, but I still would recommend the original series. But I'll tell you more about this in my review. But it's just, this was just a terrible Smurfs film. I was not impressed with. And coming in at number 13 is A Big Bold Beautiful Journey. This may not have been that great of a film. I got bored and snored about halfway into this film. Well, I did like Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell, but this movie just didn't have enough potential, and it's bombing like crazy at the box office. If I decide to do a spoiler-free review of it next month, which I'm going to try to make up for that, I am going to tell you what I thought, more of what I thought about it, that how, what aspects that I did think made these okay, but this was not that great of a film. And yeah, this was a film, one of three films I went and saw, okay, at the theater. Yeah, but again, I got bored and snored about halfway through. Next at number 12 is Shiver Me Timbers. Now, this is one of the horror flicks that involve Popeye the Sailor Man. Now, after I saw Popeye's Revenge a few months ago, I watched this and the other one, which is still ahead. This one's okay, but it's not that great and what have you. It did have some pretty shocking kills, though, pretty gory in parts, though. But this one focused on, well, a group of youngsters led by Olive Oil. Yeah, and they were trying to see this comet, and, well, the power of this comet kind of made this old sailor become a mutated, monstrous fighting type Popeye character, you know. Well, yeah, I'm not thinking of reviewing this anyway, but I think you'll know when you see it. And coming in at number 11 is the Lilo and Stitch remake. Yeah, I was saying again, I still wish Disney would give it up with these live action takes their animated films, and they just won't do it. This was okay, but not great. I was really devastated by some things in this film, including the ending. Check out my spoiler-free review of this if you haven't seen it yet. Although I appreciated the titular character, so the little girl who played Lilo was fine, and I mean they did get the same guy to voice Stitch again, which that made it fair enough. But again, this just was not 110% great. Again, I'm saying Disney, give it up already for crying out loud. All right, next at number 10 is Popeye the Slayer Man. Of the three horrified Popeye films, I think this is the best of the three. You know, they're still not that great. Of course, it's about a curious group of friends who sneak into an abandoned spinach cane factory to film a documentary on the legend of the Sailor Man, who is said to haunt the factory and local docks. Yeah, I'm gonna say this was probably the best of the three. They still might not be that great, but I think this was probably the decent one. Again, not great, but decent than the other two films, though. And next at number 9 is Hell of a Summer. Now, this was okay. Wasn't really that great, though. I mean, well, it's by no means no Friday the 13th or Sleepaway Camp or what have you, but this film was alright. I mean, it's about a 24-year-old who arrives for counselor weekend as the camp, but his biggest problem is feeling out of touch with his co-workers or teenagers, and he's unaware that there's a mass killer has murdered camp owners and is preparing to strike again. I mean, I liked Finn Wolfhard, who co-directed this film. He's in this film, so I'm gonna say he did pretty good. I think some of the cast was all right. It's just that it didn't catch on with me with seeing much of the kills and what have you, though, because well, it's just didn't quite turn out as good as I expected. Maybe I didn't hate the film. It got a decent bit of liking for me because I did like the setting though of the camp. So you gotta give it credit for that. But Hell of a Summer, yeah, it's a fine film. And coming in at number 8 is Species: The Awakening from 2007. Now, I recently reviewed this film, and it's an okay sequel. Maybe not the best and what have you. But I still thought it had a lot to offer. I mean, I actually did like Helena Matson, though she was pretty high in this. So, Species: The Awakening, yeah. I will say that some of its bit of showings of the aliens and what have you, yeah, it was okay too. But maybe not the best by no means, but it was okay and what have you. I can't say the same for the next film because number 7 just so happens to be Species 3 from 2004. I will say this is fair and what have you, but however, it does have issues with the kid, well, with some of the blood and what have you. Even though this was made for TV, but it did get a better, um, how should I put to you, uncut one version on physical media. But yeah, it's all right. But I did love Sunny Mabry. She was pretty hot. Amelia Cook, yeah, she was high as well. So those are the gals who are the aliens and why. And I think, yeah, those are two aliens that really saved this film. Check out my review of that if you haven't seen it yet. Species 3 is okay and what have you in some ways, but not as good as the original. But well, it comes on par with number 2, though. All right, next up at number 6 is Highest to Lowest. Now, this, of course, is a new film from Apple. It's on Apple TV Plus about a Italian music mogul who, widely known as having the best ears in the business, is targeted for a ransom plot, and he's jammed up in a life or death moral dilemma. Spike Lee directs this, and I'll say he does a good job. Denzel Washington is pretty good as well. So I'm going to give credit for that and what have you. But even so, I feel like this is a pretty good film, considering it's a interpretation of a Japanese crime thriller High and Low, which came out back in the 1960s. If you haven't seen this film yet, check it out. And check out my spoiler free review too if you haven't seen it yet. This film's not too bad. I mean, it turned out different than what I had anticipated, but still not too bad though. Next at number 5 is Warfare. Now, this is a recent war flick from earlier this year. It's based on actual events about a platoon of Navy SEALs who embark on a dangerous mission in Ramadi, Iraq, with the chaos of and brotherhood of war retold through their memories of the event. Alex Garland, who directed Civil War last year, co-directed this with Ray Mendoza, one of the people who actually took part in the actual war long ago. I'm gonna say this film isn't too bad. Maybe not as good as I hoped for, but overall, I found it to be pretty good and why be a pretty good war flick. I think it was, yeah, pretty intense. That's definitely what I would say. Now, coming in at number 4 is Any Which Way You Can from 1980. This is the sequel to Every Which Way But Loose. While it may not have been as well received as that film, but I feel like this was very fun, what have you. Just more different turns though, but however, Clint Eastwood once again does his best as Philo Beto, and he's back with Clyde the orangutan, and well, I think this is really something. When the Mafia come along and arrange another fight, well, he's pushed into it after he decides to call it quits. But anyway, this film's pretty fun and what have you. It's got a pretty good cast, just like the first film with a few new additions. I'll talk more about this when I review this film later on. Its anniversary's just about a couple more months away, so I'll try and tackle that. And coming in at number 3 is The Roses. Now, this is a new updated version of the classic film The War of the Roses, which I have not seen completely. Anyway, this film's pretty funny. Directed by Jay Roach, the director of the Faulkner family trilogy, which is soon to be changed into a quadrilogy, and the Austin Powers films. This, of course, stars Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman as Theo and Ivy Rose. I gotta say, those two are absolutely very funny in this, and it's absolutely funny and hysterical. This has a whole lot of craziness in my view, and really, really so much of the unexpected of what you could expect from a film like this. Also, if you listen closely at the beginning of the film and at the end of the film, of course, Jay Roach's real life wife, Susanna Hoffs, you might know of the Bangles fame, actually does a little cover of the Turtles' hit Happy Together along with Canadian superstar Rufus Wainwright, which was pretty good actually. Anyway, I'll try and talk more about the Roses if I do a spoiler-free review of it next month. Okay? I went and saw this in the theater, and again, it's pretty good. And coming at number 2, here's another film I went and saw in the theater last month, and but didn't do a spoiler-free review of it, and that is Downton Abbey, the grand finale. While of course I've never watched the show before, and I did go see the last film, and I did check out the first film, and they're pretty good. But this one ended up being even more good. I think it just follows a lot of great stories for this, especially when what goes on with the Crawleys as they must embrace change as the staff prepares for a new chapter with the next generation leading Downton Abbey into the future for this. But I gotta say, it's great that they did this and how they picked up after the last film. It's not too bad. So evidently, it's a pretty nice little film. I'll try and review the Downton Abbey flicks sometime sooner. But if Downton Abbey and The grand finale is number 2. Then number 1 is yet another new film I have yet to do a spoiler-free review of. My number 1 first-time watch of September 2025 just so happens to be, and please don't shoot me because this one's a chick flick. That film is The Wrong Paris. Now, this is a new Netflix rom-com which is absolutely very funny. Miranda Cosgrove, of iCarly fame, all grown up, is in this film, and let me tell you, she's pretty good in one of you. She's this girl who really thinks she's about to get a chance to go to France, Paris, France, as she's joining a dating show, but only, unfortunately, it's in Paris, Texas. And boy, it really takes a turn and what have you. I will say some of the cast was pretty good. We even get Madison Pettis in this film. Of course, of Corey in the House and the Game Plan. Yeah, another one all grown up. But I will say The Wrong Paris is pretty fun. I'll talk more about this when I do a review of this later on. So there you have it, The Wrong Paris. It's a pretty funny film. And it's got a pretty good soundtrack as well. Which includes a pretty good song by Lauren Elena, by the way. That's a country gal I do actually like a little. But anyway, that's going to do it for this ranking. What did you think? Let me know what you watched for the first time for the month of September 2025. Give me your top 1, top 3, top 5, whatever. If you want to, leave them for me in the comment section below. And if you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, and you know the rest. And join me next time when I bring to you, well, later tonight will be my re-review of Halloween 2018. So if you like this, check out these other films I've done reviews of. These are my spoiler-free reviews. Check out my spoiler-free review of Highest to Lowest in the upper left-hand corner. The upper right-hand corner is the Lilo and Stitch 2025 review, also spoiler free, or you can check out my review of Species 3 in the bottom left hand corner, and the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.